Hi guys, one of the Pocket 2 main purposes is to be a small and portable vlogging solution for creators on the go. But if you're new to the Pocket 2 for vlogging and you're wondering what are the best or recommended settings to use for vlogging, then stick around. Right, so coming up is my recommended settings for vlogging with the Pocket 2. Obviously each of us have different needs and preferences, but if you're not sure what settings to use, then my settings could prove as a good starting point and then you can just tweak them as necessary. Alright, first of all, resolution and frame rate. And I always set mine to 1080p as I find that HD quality is more than adequate enough for doing YouTube vlogging videos. And I'd rather not have my ugly mug in 4K resolution showing all my facial inadequacies in finer detail. No, thank you. So 1080 is more than enough for me. However, of course, if you like to show your face in all its glory in 4K, then go for it. Now for the frame rate, I go with 30 frames per second because I think there's no need for any higher frame rate as there's not really much movement going on in vlogging apart from me pulling a rather unflattering expression with my face and my mouth. Okay, next, autofocus. Now I make sure the autofocus is set to continuous rather than single. And this means that the Pocket 2 will continually keep focusing on what's in the center of the frame, being our lovely faces, of course. But to access autofocus, you'll need to make sure that the Pro mode is switched on, which you can do by swiping down from the top and then swiping left a couple of times till you see the Pro icon and then just click that. And then you'll see a little Pro icon appear in the top left of the screen. So click on that and then you should see the option for autofocus. Next, for white balance, I always leave it to auto just for convenience sake, as 99% of the time the auto white balance is going to do a pretty decent job. And next, auto exposure. And again for auto exposure I will leave this at automatic, which is fine for the majority of time. Now occasionally there may be the odd occasion like in a backlit situation, example by a window, when the auto exposure will not actually expose correctly. So that's the time that you'll need to switch to manual exposure and then experiment till you get a good exposure on the face. Alright, so let's now talk about active tracking. Alright, so I like to use active tracking to give me much more freedom to wave the Pocket 2 around and have the gimbal following my ugly mug here. To activate active tracking, just double click on your mugshot and it should give you a little rectangle and it will then track your face as you move around. Now, note that it's not available in 4K if you have the high quality mode switched on. So you'll need to switch back to battery saver if you get this message. Or you could actually alternatively jump to a lower resolution like 2.7 or 1080p and then you can just pop back on high quality if you like after that. Alright, I always set my quality to battery saver when doing vlogging because it's perfectly fine for my particular vlogging style. But if you want to squeeze a little bit more quality out, then of course increase it to high quality. Let's now talk about the microphones. So if you're using the built-in mics on the Pocket 2, which are actually pretty decent most of the time, then for vlogging I suggest switching them to use the front mics only. Now there's actually 4 mics on the Pocket 2, 2 at the front and 2 on the back. Now you can switch to the front mics by clicking on the Pro icon and then going to where it says mics and then flicking the option to where it says front only. Now by doing this, it's going to focus the sound towards your voice rather than pick up the sound in the background if the background is particularly noisy. Lastly, if you're vlogging, Pocket 2 has a face smoothing feature which can be accessed by swiping down from the top, swiping left and then clicking on the face icon until it's actually switched on. Now for me, I like to use this feature for my own vanity purposes as I don't like to be reminded how wrinkly I seem to be getting. Of course, all you youthful, beautiful creators out there, you don't need this, but wrinkly oldies like me are certainly going to appreciate it. Okay, so here's a summary of the settings I use for vlogging with the Pocket 2. And I hope these have been useful as a starting point for your own vlogging and then of course tweak them to your own preferences. Alright guys, once again, thanks for watching and of course hit that subscribe button if you're finding these tutorials useful. Take care and I shall see you soon.